Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Degens and Degenettes, to episode 5 of 1 Mint, Cardano Culture and NFTs. I'm the machinist, CMDR is here too, and we are joined by the illustrious, the one and only Thesis of Thesis and Dysmorphia. What's up, Thesis? How are you?
Hello. I'm doing fine, thank you. It's nice being here. It was nice for the past few minutes talking with you behind the stage also.
Yeah. It took me a little while to get set up. So
Yeah, me too. So sorry for that. But yeah, I'm excited to be here and looking forward to this conversation.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So am I. Well, everyone out there in podcast land, if you are not watching us on Spotify right now, you should be, because this podcast is available audio only on just about every podcast platform there is, right? Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, Stitcher, Castbox, and about 20 others. But the video is only on Spotify. So come to Spotify. If you're not here already, rate the show, subscribe to it. It's free. Why not? Give us at least 4 stars. CMDR combed his hair today. We deserve at least 4 stars. And yeah, that's it. What else are we supposed to talk about? Oh, we have merch too now. We have an Amazon store. Actually, Thesis, I want to show you this. Check this out.
Yes, please. I love merch.
1 Mint merchandise.
Yeah, literally all you have to do. Whoa, enter the characters you see below. Is that a T or an X?
That's 2-factor authorization right there, buddy. That looks like MMX
AGY.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff Bezos. All right. 1 Mint. Look at this. All you got to do is search 1 Mint. It brings up the podcast, audio only. We just went over that, right? Got to be on Spotify for the video. But we have this amazing hoodie that this guy right here is wearing. We have some pop sockets. We got some other things. There's other designs in the works. So go check it out. Buy 1 Mint stuff, because
Very nice.
Why not?
Nice.
Yep. That's right. All the money goes to pay for our drug habits.
Absolutely. What? No, it doesn't. CMDR's drug habit. It's my NFT habit. But anyway, there's more stuff on there too. Go check it out. Only award-winning podcast on Cardano, so why not, right? Buy merch. So we have the merch. Follow us on X or Twitter, whatever the hell you call it, at 1Mint_podcast. And that's enough of that. So I guess we'll get on with the show.
Jesus,
right?
two full minutes of shilling, bro. We gotta figure out a way to cut that down a little bit.
It's tough, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So
yes,
anyway.
we do.
All right. Yeah. So moving on.
So should we start with our guest reading off our disclaimer here before we get into anything?
Yes, everyone has to be disclaimed.
Okay. So whenever you feel comfortable, Thesis, you go ahead and start reading off that disclaimer there. You have to say every word. So
I probably should have prepared better to read it once before. But okay.
You got it.
1 Mint is for educational purposes only. Nothing said or alluded to within this program represents the views, opinions, and/or ideology of 1 Mint, its hosts, guests, affiliates, partners, and/or related social media platforms. In other words, believe nothing we say.
Yeah.
That includes me too. Okay.
Keep going.
We don't even believe half the shit that comes out of our mouths, and we're the ones saying it. We love you all. Do your own research, bitches.
Well done.
Very
excellent.
Nice.
Thank you, Thesis.
Very nice. That was amazing.
Nice.
I don't think this is ever going to get old, ever.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It is a good way to open it up, right? It kind of loosens people up.
Whose idea was that?
The DYOR bitches?
No, just do everything.
Just to have someone read it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that happened.
That was episode 2, right? We had
we just decided we were going to make them uncomfortable.
We did a coin flip. Yep. Yeah. So now it's official.
It's actually making us comfortable.
Yes.
That's good.
Don't you feel comfortable now?
Yeah.
I love how you put so much emphasis on the word bitches. Like the emphasis was amazing. So absolutely. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get into this. So first of all, I want to say thank you for coming. We really appreciate you being here. I've been following you for over a year now because you were kind enough to add the lurkers to your first survey. So we have ourselves a pretty decent relationship so far. It was an honor to be a part of that, especially considering it's the only fully researched survey on the Cardano blockchain right now. And you guys are getting ready to try and do it again. So we're here to talk a little bit about Thesis and Dysmorphia, the upcoming Catalyst proposal. Catalyst voting goes live on January 25th. So hopefully,
which is also Dismo's birthday.
Correct.
By the way,
correct,
from
correct.
Thesis and Dysmorphia. Just wanted
That's
to throw
right.
that in.
Yeah, I'm ready for the quiz too.
That's happening too.
So we will make sure that this episode gets out in time for everybody to watch it and have the time that they need to go and vote on the Catalyst proposal. And I'm just going to say right now, before you even hear anything about it, if you are my friend and you do not vote for the Thesis and Dysmorphia Catalyst proposal, that I will disown you. We will never speak again, and I will hate you for the rest of your life. So,
well, good thing we're not
Thank
friends then. So. But also, I do have to say though, right? You gave them their flowers, and this is a really cool project, right? If anyone hasn't seen Thesis and Dysmorphia yet, I'm gonna have to find mine in my wallet so we can show everybody. But it's an amazing project doing amazing things, right, on this blockchain, and it's all about the community, right, and seeing what makes the community tick, what they love, what they don't love. Maybe what they eat for breakfast. I don't know what the questions were exactly, but you never know. It's all important stuff, right? So yeah, this is going to be a fun episode. Sorry,
Absolutely.
CMDR. Back to you, my friend.
No, you're good. Tell Desmo we said hi, by the way. So why don't you start by telling us who you are, how you got here, and what Thesis and Dysmorphia is?
That's a lot. So my name is Matea actually, and but you might know me by the name of Thesis because that's the name I chose for myself when we were starting this Thesis and Dysmorphia project. So Thesis is, I would say, my part of it, and then Dysmorphia is the part of my co-founder Marina, who comes by name Dysmorphia. And we started with this in summer of 2022, and the idea was to basically research Cardano NFT space and learn a bit more about people's sentiment and behaviors, and then their reasonings for making decisions in the space, for investments, people's demographics data, and all the stuff that we kind of, we were always seeing that sentiments change. We were seeing different, this day on Twitter is like completely bullish, the next one is bearish, then all the drama in space, then all the things which were just spoken about, but there were no exact facts about any of those. And we wanted to bring a bit of like more research to those questions and be able to say that's really like this. And yeah, the way we decided to do it was to create our own project, Thesis and Dysmorphia, which was a bit specific from the beginning because all the people who came in, uh, who were our supporters from the beginning, they knew that we are doing research, and they knew that through a period of 1 year we will be questioning them questions about our own project on specific time points, depending on what happens when we have mint, when we are pre-mint or post-mint, when we do this or that. And they were our very important and big part of this research. It gave us also a lot of data about developing one project through from the inception to 1 year in existence. And the other part of this research was to go out of our own project, and we entered 46 other projects in the space, collaborated with them, and asked their holders all the different questions about their reasoning. Why are they here? Why are they supporting this project? And we also asked people from the whole Cardano NFT space, not specific to any project, all the questions also which interested us. What are their reasons for being in Cardano? Why are they investing? What makes them invest more? Doxing of the founders, hype, all the things like that. And then after 1 year, we had all those data from our own project, from 46 other projects, from the space in general, and we collected it, analyzed it, and then published in October last year in the form of PDF, like a real scientific research article, and also the PDF itself gave access to the platform which we built called Forkit, where you could go and see all the data like in more interactive way. You could pick the question which you wanted to see what people said, compare it to some other stuff.
You guys did a lot of collaboration during this project, because I know, like you said, you reached out to 47 different projects, and then scroll down and take a look at all those. You can see the covers on all of these. You had a bunch of individual artists create the cover for all of these Thesis NFTs. So shout out to General Specific, by the way, for making one of those covers for the lurkers. That was super badass. But yeah, so like throughout the entire process of this, you've been just collaborating with people all over the space, and I think it's really amazing that you did that. The art is just absolutely stunning, and it was what, 80 something pages, wasn't it? The
81.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 81 pages of data and information from this 1 year long study, which is
That's
just
a lot.
Yeah, it is insane.
Just to go back on what Thesis said, just to make sure I got it right. So not only did you poll your own community and kind of helped it, to shape your own project, but then you polled all these other communities as well, and just random degens on the blockchain, and made the very first scientific study on the Cardano NFT
Yes,
space.
and also the founders specifically, and moderators in space specifically. So two more groups of people. Yes. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we
Very
had
cool.
our own surveys that we had to do as founders. Moderators had their own surveys that they had to do, and then there was the general sentiment and the project sentiment. So there was data coming from 10 million different directions for this. So it's only understandable that it turned out to be an 81-page report.
Yeah.
On the I mean, it was crazy.
One of the coolest parts is too, weren't you guys anonymous the whole time? Because you didn't want to skew the data, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys were totally anonymous, like made new personalities, or whatever you call it, for the entire study, which it was a pretty big thing when you guys doxed and like came out, so everyone knew who you were.
Yeah, I mean, now when you speak about it, it's a bit nostalgic because when you look back like few months on something that was happening for 1 year, now when it's few months ago, it kind of always looks nicer than probably it is, but it was tough time. Yeah, we were completely anonymous for a period of a bit more than 1 year, from summer 2022 till September 2023, uh, uh, for the reason that we see how it is with the sentiment of people, if they are in a project of undoxed founders, and does it change over time depending on what do they do, uh, no matter if people know who the persons are. So basically we wanted
Right.
to see if it matters more what you do than who you say you are or you are. So that was our main idea with that one. Yeah.
But then there was the flip side of that too, as well, which after I don't know if you guys if you've been in there recently, Ken, but after they doxed, they did this thing in the Discord called overdoxing, where they literally came out and they put their entire fucking lives out there for the community that stuck around throughout all this. They talked about how they met. They talked about their pets. They talked about their lives. They talked about their jobs. They went so in depth doxing themselves afterwards that it made that entire year of like wondering who the hell they were totally worth it. So,
and then
awesome.
everybody left. No, I'm kidding.
No. There was actually a competition where the overdoxing was a really big part of that. You had to find specific answers throughout all the information that they provided in overdoxing, and you had to enter those answers to get to the next level and the next level and the next level. It was a really cool experience. I think Canterbury's kind of pissed that she didn't win, but shout out. That was what, West March, right? Didn't West March get
March,
that?
and the main
Yeah.
prize
So
is trip to Croatia. So we are meeting West March
Whoa.
in May this year.
Yep.
He's coming.
Yep. So trip to Croatia to meet both of them. They get to hang out, all expenses paid. Super awesome. Yeah. Canterbury was pissed, but I think
wanna
she's
go to
also happy for
Croatia.
West March too. So yeah. So this was a smashing success. You had amazing artists create the covers for these. You got the information out there to the community. I think the reception from the community was just amazing from what I saw on the Discord, not to mention all the people that came in afterwards once you were in the process of minting these. So much so that you actually got the attention of Charles Hoskinson, and you did an almost 2-hour long interview with him, like a straight up one-of-one interview with Charles Hoskinson about your research study, right? So how was that? Like, I'm assuming that was probably like the magnum opus of the entire experience, right?
Well, yeah, it was not 2 hours. Thank you. It was 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I bet it felt like 2 hours though, right?
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight. It was something that when we started, we only were thinking if something like that is possible to happen, if the research that we will do will maybe catch his attention, and it did. Basically, when we had those little snippets, you can see one on the screen. This one above, like 25% of participants was drawn into the Cardano space because of Charles Hoskinson. There is another one stating that I think 75% of people sees Charles as a positive force, and then we shared it. Our developer shared it on his Twitter, and Charles commented on it, and then we like, what's this? And we explained it to him, and immediately he said to his people, contact them. So they contacted us in Twitter inbox and basically said that he wants to have us on the show, and then we set it up. And I was speaking to Charles, and it was very exciting, but also at the same time I think I was pretty relaxed, more relaxed than I would say I expected while speaking to someone like that, because he really understood what we were doing, and I mean understood even more than I think is possible to read from the work itself. He kind of got the idea of the whole purpose of doing something like that, like doing the research and study and publishing it in a form of NFT and not in a scientific journal, but all the things that were also in our idea when we started this, because of the science itself and how science works today and how I think it should be working better. So it was very nice to hear such words of encouragement and understanding from him, and it opened many doors for us to now continue working on some other things and possible collaborations in the
That's excellent.
near future. Yeah.
And well, he's a scientist, so I guess that's why but look at that. I would have thought more than 25%. And this is why these studies are cool, right? I figured like at least 50% of people here came here because of Charles's whiteboard videos. But apparently that's not the truth. I think 75%, that other 75% was because of this show. That's why they're on Cardano. But that's
Yeah,
that's
no.
just me.
I think the actual, what was it? The main reason was money, right?
Yeah.
That was the largest percentage. People came to Cardano to make money.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it's true. It's okay. But
Yeah.
I definitely relate with those 25% a little bit more, because it was that whiteboard video for me that actually brought me to Cardano. So, um, yeah. So me and Kat were actually talking about it. Like, we watched the video together, and there was like 3 or 4 different light bulb moments where you were talking to Charles, where like his eyes lit up, and he almost seemed like almost overly impressed with what you guys were doing. So I think it's really awesome that that you got the opportunity to do that. So speaking of which, I guess this is a great segue. Let's get into what's coming. So you finished this study. The study is published, but you came to the realization that you didn't want that to be it. So let's talk about what's happening now. You want to expand on this. You have a catalyst proposal that's out there, ready to go right now. Voting begins on the 25th of January. So tell us a little bit about that and how you're planning on expanding on the study.
Yeah. Well, always it was always an idea to continue doing this if it shows that it's possible to us. So at the moment, we think Catalyst is a great opportunity. If we get funded, it will make it possible, and we will continue for sure. So basically, what we did with the past study, we showed data from one single point of time, and that's it. Now we have that data, but it would really be interesting to continue gathering such snapshots of current sentiment and behavior and reasoning of people in the space, and do it again, do it again, do it again every, I don't know, 6 months, every year at least. And then in the future, you could see some patterns. You could see better, even better than just having one set of data. So yeah, with this one, we want to, as I said, do one big survey and put it out again. This time we would like to put it on our Forkit platform, but to be available to the public, to everyone. So you will not need to have an NFT to read it, because it will be obviously funded from Catalyst if it turns out well. And then eventually we hope to continue doing that in the future again, and to make that new place on our Forkit platform, which we would be calling Cardano Pulse, to make it like a place where you would go to find such data.
Right on.
Cool.
So I actually find this really interesting because, like you said, the first one that you did was basically strictly towards almost like NFT projects, right? And in that year, we've seen DeFi grow exponentially in the ecosystem. We have protocols out here that are creating decentralized storage. We have protocols out here that are opening up things like options trading and lending and all this other stuff in the ecosystem. So it's going to be really interesting to see how many people from that year study that you did are moving into different parts of the ecosystem now that all this stuff is opening up, especially since a majority of folks said that they were interested in making money here, right? So there's many more options available for making money in the ecosystem now. So it's going to be really cool to see what happens. For those of you guys that want to get a little bit more information on the Catalyst proposal, I highly recommend that you take some time to read it. It's very in-depth, very well written. We will have a hyperlink for that in the episode, so take some time to check that out. But what I would like to do now is just kind of move into some general discussion here about sentiment in the ecosystem, and then why you think it's important, why it is important, how it's going to benefit founders, how it's going to benefit community members, all this other stuff. So what I noticed from the study myself was that from a founder's perspective, right? Like you had questions about how does the community feel about the founders? How does the community feel the founders deal with stress? Like, do you think that the founders have mental health issues? Do you think mental health issues are real? What do you look for in a founder? And all that kind of information helped me out a lot as far as the way that I interact with my community. So I thought it was really interesting some of the answers that we got from people. But what do you think? What do you think this is going to do for founders in the ecosystem? The study that you have out now, plus new ones, like how do you think it's going to help them to navigate and grow and kind of pivot their projects?
That's interesting what you said. I would maybe if you can elaborate a bit more, how did it help you exactly about the things that you mentioned? I would really love to hear it because it's important, I think. Uh, and Yeah, for the how it would help founders, current or future founders, I think with let's say for example this big survey that we plan to do, just having some broad demographics data and broad reasoning data, and then more specific questions, which maybe, I don't know, someone wants to build a project in DeFi, would go more specifically in those questions and see what people uh, want to see more of, what really doesn't interest people, and they maybe thought there's an audience here, but they see from the survey there is no audience for this, but people want to see something completely else more, and maybe help them choose the direction of what they want to build a bit more, a bit better. But also, I think that there is also a lot of uh, there will probably stay a lot of unknown in the just having that one big survey. If someone would really want to have like a market research done for their specific needs, there would probably be much more questions going in depth in one particular direction with than this big general survey will do. But I think it will give a good direction for the founders, for just getting an idea about who actually is in this space, because we as I said, we can only guess at the moment. I mean, we have some idea now better because we had this survey which we did last summer. So we know, for example, that probably there is around 7, 8, or 10% of females in space only, and maybe people thought there's more. So now we have some idea about it. When we do this next survey, we will have even more correct idea because we want to get to even more people. This is really the beginnings of it all. The study that we did in the past year is just like small sneak peek of what we could know about the space.
For me, as the founder of Lurkers, right? Like, I took over a rug project. Um, I was always kind of like in the background concerned about the community sentiment of the direction that our project was going. And when I read the responses from the lurkers specifically in the study, like uh, it actually made me smile and kind of tear up a little bit because I was always concerned that like the community aspect of our project being the main focus of the project wasn't really enough for the people in there. But when I read the study and I read the results, that was the answer that everybody was giving. It was like our community was what kept people there. It's what kept people around. They didn't give a shit about our floor price. They didn't give a shit about us putting out some technology or a video game or anything like that. Like we had built a real community there of people that just cared about being around each other. And once I finally read that and I finally saw that coming from them and I didn't have to assume that was the case, it just made me feel a lot better about the progress that I had made with the project. So you were wondering how it helped me. I think it just helped me come to terms with the fact that it's okay to not constantly be building something, to just have that community aspect of people that care about each other. So there's your answer to that. What do you think, Ken? So you're definitely like a community oriented guy. You're in a lot of different NFT projects as a community member. After looking through the study and after hearing about some of the data, what would you say would be beneficial to a community member to understand how to navigate the ecosystem better?
Well, that's actually what I was going to ask, right? Because we can see how this would be helpful for founders, right? If you're going to make a project, it's very good to know what your consumer base pretty much is thinking and how they feel. And, emotions rule everything. right? So how people feel about things is extremely important, more important than people normally realize. But it also says in here and it says right here, problem, right? I'm quoting. The ability to make informed decisions about investment choices or project design is a key to success. So, those investment choices, how does knowing sentiment and behavior as of the Cardano ecosystem as a whole, like your everyday degen on Cardano, how does knowing that sentiment help them make better choices, right? How does this add to just having like a tap tools or, whatever else charts and things out there?
How does it help the community member? You ask.
Right. Yeah. Because it says here, aim to bridge the gap in Cardano's market analysis by
Yeah,
integrating social sentiment and fostering informed decisions. So, yeah, how does that, the sentiment and knowing kind of what everyone's feeling, how does that
yeah.
help you make informed decisions?
Yeah, well, I would say the grand idea of it all would what would be ideal is to have that sentiment data on a bit more up to date basis. So
Right.
if because I'm aware, as I also already mentioned, we did it once in summer of last summer, and then now we will do it again, and it will be just a point in time which could maybe give us a bit of current sentiment data, and people can just know how it was at this moment. But I would say the grand idea is, and we would like to be able to do it one at some point, is to, just as you have, as you mentioned, tap tools, and as you have charts of coins going up and down, as you have all the floor prices going up and down, it would be amazing to have something like that, but showing sentiment in a sense. Maybe it would be a shorter everyday poll which you could when you're on Taptals or on when you're on JPEG Store, you could click on it. You could click when you're searching through some project and say if you are bullish or bearish on it today. If you are on some project which didn't mint yet, you could click on it. You could and then to have a place where all that data would be uh, brought back to, analyzed, and put out to people to see more about the sentiment. I'm aware that people already have their ways of doing their own research about investments. They will check the Twitter numbers, Discord numbers, check the reactions, check uh, how big the hype is, so they can decide if they want to mint it to flip or not. Uh, but I think, yeah, I think having something like this, like it reminds me a bit of a fear and greed index, maybe in crypto. I don't know, but having something which is more tangible on day-to-day basis would definitely help people more to bring to have to make more informed investment decisions on short term basis, also probably on long term basis. But yeah, this would be, I would again say, just small part of what could be possible to be done in the future.
Right. Kind of like a first step, right? So you do
Yeah,
you did your smaller survey, you do a much bigger survey, and then if that everyone sees it and they enjoy it and they like it, and you can get all that support, even more support, then have something like that on a daily level where all that information's collected from all over the space, through however, right on dashboards or wallets or whatever, little click
yeah,
yes, no, click a happy face or a frowny face, right? About
yeah.
a project, and it all goes back to one central hub. That's a lot of logistical, holy
It's
crap.
it
Wow.
sounds to me like you're trying to create like a community wide alpha group, right? Because this happens internally in alpha groups all the time. Like you'll see it like they'll put up a poll like are you going to mint this project? Are you going to mint
Yeah,
this project? And it's a yes, a no, or a maybe. But you're trying to do that on like a Cardano wide scale, right? So like you're saying you would put up a poll daily like how do you feel about X project? And then the entire community would be able to vote on that poll. And you're saying that people would be able to make better decisions based on that, right? Because like we are in a kind of economy where the hype matters, right?
Yeah.
You're not necessarily going to get the information that you need about the project on whether it's a good investment or not, but you'll be able to actually get the information about how the community sees the project. So I could see that working as like a short-term mark or a short-term play strategy where is this NFT mint or this token or whatever going to be hype enough for me to be able to invest my money and flip it or something like that. But as far as sentiment for a project goes and making informed decisions about investing into a project long term, I think you would have to do polls and deep dives on projects specifically to be able to give people the information that they need to make that decision. So, but it's like you said, it's one step at a time. Maybe if this catalyst proposal goes through and you can get this out there, then maybe you could even expand even more and start doing deep dives into projects specifically and writing up reports for them as well. So,
well,
Yeah.
everything has to start somewhere, right?
yeah,
So,
absolutely. So, what's the timeline on this then? I know you're talking about, so catalyst proposal is going to be 2 weeks, and then you have to go through the whole process of getting the funding and all that good stuff. How long is this study going to go for if it goes live?
Hopefully it goes live. We are planning like 4 months is the thing that we wrote in the proposal to have enough time to get it done. But we we want to like take 1 month of first preparation, then 1 month of basically distributing the survey, and then it's an analysis time, and we want to bridge the bridge the gap or make the time between taking the data and publishing it out as short as possible. So as I said, we have up to date data as much as it's possible, because the last time it was, we took the data in June, July, and then we published it in October. So we want to make it even shorter. I guess we could do it this time because we have learned a lot in the process of making it last time, and it will just get better, and we can do it more efficient. So that's some idea. If we get the funding immediately, the grind and the work towards uh, getting it out to as much as people possible to actually know that it will be happening, and then when it will be happening, incentivize people as much as we can to really do the survey, because I know how much pain in the ass it can be to do the survey. But try to explain them that it's important, that they are really contributing to some amazing thing happening for Cardano, and get it out, and get the results then out to people as quickly as possible. So yeah, 3-4 months after we get the funding.
cool. I have a quick question about maybe in the future, right? How do you think getting all of this information, all these answers together in one place and processing them quickly can be done? I mean, is there a way to like build like an AI thesis and dysmorphia super bot that just as soon as people are clicking on stuff, it just goes right into the system and goes straight onto a chart somewhere? Maybe
Probably,
someday.
probably possible, and I cannot tell you how many ideas we have of how efficiently it could all be working, only if we had enough money to build it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we had idea maybe that our next survey after this first one would be already done on our platform, built for service, and you put the answer in, you get the data out, someone else puts it, and it all just combines in a chart immediately. But yeah, we don't have enough funds at the moment for that. But that would be the thing, that would be what's
Right.
needed, going out immediately.
I
But
gotta
you have a developer that's ready to do that though, should the funds come in, right? Your developer's pretty badass. So
Yeah, he's a badass.
I gotta say though, money always is right. People say money doesn't matter, but money does matter, especially when you're trying to build something, right? But the important thing is that you did this through one of the worst markets we've seen in quite a while, and you succeeded with that first study, right? You're still doing it, and you're doing all of this for the betterment of this space, whether or not people know it, whether or not people agree with it, which I haven't heard anyone that doesn't agree with it. I mean, shit, Charles agrees with it, right? You can't really, you can't go against Charlie. So sorry, Chuck, I didn't mean to call you Charlie. Can I call you Charlie? Come on the show and let me know. Um, but that says a lot, right? And you guys are still going at it. You're still doing your best every day, and it will happen eventually, right? Everything just takes time. If I win the lotto, I got you. You know, I play every once in a while. I'll keep
Yeah.
trying.
Thank
But
you.
what if the, you know, let's say, because a lot of times we see this, right? There's amazing proposals up and they don't go through, right? It doesn't always happen, right?
Mm.
We hope it does. A lot of people love T&D. There's no reason it can't. But if it doesn't, are you still going to move forward? Do you have another study in the works, anything like that, for your current holders in your current community to participate in?
We have a few things going on which are still not to be said out loud, so we will see
Oh,
what
come
happens.
on. Tell
But
me.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, it's okay.
no,
It's we
no.
try to pull alpha out of people all the time, but no, I
So
get it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's all good.
we will see. We will
Fair.
So
as I said, yeah. If this doesn't go through, or if it does, we also still have few things that are happening on other sides. So we will see.
yeah,
Cool.
very nice. Alrighty. I'm I'm pretty much out of questions, I think. The
God,
only other thing that maybe I
terrible.
would no, I think the only other thing that I would want to know about is exactly how you plan to approach the IOG and Cardano Foundation questions should this study go live, because I know there's a lot of negative sentiment about IOG in general, the Cardano Foundation, from the current Cardano community, especially the ones who are involved in NFTs and stuff like that. So, what kind of information are you going to be looking for from the community when it comes to Cardano Foundation and IOG specifically?
Well, we will for sure ask again just the general sentiment as we did the last time with Charles and Cardano Foundation. We asked it in a open answer sense, so people could have written what they think, and then we analyzed it with some kind of sentiment checker of the sentences. So now we know that it was 75% positive for Charles, and it was 14% positive for Cardano Foundation. So it was pretty negative
Yowza.
about them.
Wow, it's better than
Yeah.
13. That's better than 13. Keep it up,
Yeah.
Cardano
Yeah.
Foundation. You're doing a great job. Don't send hate mail to my house. If you do want to send hate mail, please send it to contact@whenmintpodcast.io. Or go to our
Jesus.
website. All right,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I'll be really interested to see what happens there, because the Cardano Foundation hasn't really shown much support to the NFT community on Cardano, and I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from, because uh, you see other blockchains out there like Polygon and VeChain and stuff like that, where they're throwing support behind these NFT projects and sometimes even giving them funding and stuff like that to help them get their projects off the ground. And I think there's a little bit of a negative sentiment from the community that the Cardano Foundation isn't showing that same support over here. So I'll be really interested to see what kind of results you get from questions about them specifically when this study goes live. So
Yeah, and we will be if it goes live, we will be talking to people like community founders, you, whoever will have like a suggestion. I think you should ask this. Maybe make this question go in more in depth in this direction. So we will get some. We will take suggestions and community sentiment about what should we ask in the first place when we have some like first draft of questions which we do have, but I think it's important to also listen to the people before the questions go out, and we will always get more ideas and uh, know better what people would love to know more if we ask them that in
Yeah.
before. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to be up in your DMs immediately with a ton of
Okay.
questions. So you have my word on that. I will be participating in that actively. Yeah. You got anything else, Ken? What are you thinking?
I just think this was a lot of fun. Go vote for this proposal, people. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you? You should have done it already. It's the 25th is come and gone. Today's the 21st. So when this comes out, right? Because we record, then we release the next week because that's just what we do. You will be able to go vote for this right now. So go down into the description for the show notes. You can find, or in the show notes, you can find this proposal right there. Why can't I speak right now? I keep saying strange words.
It's just one of those days.
It's one of those days, man. And how
Yeah.
is it there, Thesis? Right now, it's 17 degrees outside here. I checked. That's
Oh my
negative
God.
10 Celsius. So
Okay. Okay.
I know us Americans have our weird
Yeah.
temperatures. So I thought I'd check ahead of time. How is it there? Is it
Uh,
nice or is it freezing?
pretty similar today. It was pretty
Oh,
cold.
shit.
I would say it went to -10 at some point. But it was we still have a bit of snow, like just a little bit on the ground, and it was freezing, and it was sunny, and the day was beautiful. Uh,
Excellent.
I like it that it's cold enough to feel winter.
Oh,
Actually, sometimes it's just at many days it's just too warm for winter for the past few years, and it kind of fucks up the plants and the fruits and everything. And I think people
yeah.
feel a little bit crazy and everything.
Yeah, we had a couple plants outside that started getting buds on them a couple weeks ago. We're like, "No, stop." Like, we wanted to go
Yeah.
outside and cover them in ice cubes. Like, "What are you doing? You're not gonna bloom in the spring."
Yeah.
But anyway, and what's exciting you in the space? Like, outside of Thesis and Dysmorphia? I know you guys are busy, super busy, with your own project and your own proposal, but is there anything else going on in the space that has you excited?
Well, it changes, I would say, over time. It's less in the past year that I'm excited about, I don't know, new mints or something like that, because it's just I'm now looking it all from a different perspective and have things to work on to deliver something to my own project than to go and chase the next big thing. So I kind of am not too excited about those things anymore. I don't know when I minted anything in the past time even, but I think for example, what excites me is that we have the quiz next Saturday, and we will be meeting 7, 8 other projects in our Discord, and we will be having fun. I feel like we have built very good relationships with many projects in space. Of course, not with all 46 of them. It's not possible to keep up with the relationship for long, or even go deeper in some of them. But with some of the projects, we really have like day-to-day relationship. We come to chats between each other, and I love those moments when we then meet at something and have fun. When CMDR comes and hosts marbles at our place, it's always fun. When we have quizzes at their place, our place, when we have rumble in turtles or stuff like that. So it kind of becomes the best thing out of this whole story, I guess, for me, the community and the friends from all the parts of the world.
It is the best thing, right? The people you meet here. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about and getting to know them. And those are a lot of fun. Those quizzes. I've done a couple in the T&D server right after you guys doxed when you were doing those I forget what they were called, like the overdoxing, right? CMDR was talking
Yep.
about it. Where it was like, what foods does Thesis hate? Like, what
Yeah,
is
that was
Dismo love?
a special one.
So they are a lot of fun. We'll have the link to the Thesis and Dysmorphia Discord, as well as pretty much every link they have is going to be in the description. So go check it out and go to the quiz. It's a ton of fun. Um, Yeah.
And I'm just going to put this out there right now, since this episode will probably be releasing after the quiz is over. Congratulations to the lurkers on the win. You guys killed it. We love you. We'll see. We'll see if that bears fruit or not. It could be me acting like a complete ass right now, or it could be me predicting the future. We'll see what happens. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that was a ton of fun. So thank you, Miss Thesis, for joining us on One Mint, Cardano Culture, and NFT. Tell Dismo we're sorry. We missed her.
Do you have any final words for us?
Do your own research, bitches.
That's it. That's it. That's the end right there.
Stop recording.
Yeah.
Stop recording right now.